xây tương thân tình trong đạo Phật, tùy khác màu nhưng một tôn sư. Hôm nay đây cùng nhau họp mặt, quyết noi theo đường Phật giáo Hoàng Dương.
Dạ, Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Dạ, con là anh Đại Đức Ân Minh, xin cung kính chào chư tôn đức tăng ni và quý Phật tử. Hôm nay con sẽ chia sẻ phần tiếng Anh chung với sư chú Ân Tri, chú là sư Sa Di của trường Dược Pháp và sư đệ của con. Alright, Ân Tri, do you have any other questions regarding about the next question?
Oh yeah, of course. So now I'm curious to know, as we live and breathe today in Buddhism in modern times, do you think that there's a way for it to grow in America, because it's kind of a niche kind of thing now here, and do you think these teachings can be extended across other people's lives, and if so, how do you think it can reach people?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, that's an excellent question. The Buddha's teaching is not meant just for Chinese philosophy or Vietnamese philosophy or Korean or any Asian countries. It's always meant for all sentient beings. That means it doesn't matter if you're white, it doesn't matter if you're black, you're Mexican, you're Asian, it doesn't matter if you're Native American, it doesn't matter anywhere in the world that you're born. Mm-hmm. The beauty about the Dharma is it can be applied to anyone that lives in this present moment. Mm-hmm. And why was it important? Like the last episode when I talked about, your question was, what can we do to experience the Dharma? And I said that what we can do was observe the breath. Now, why is the breath something very, very important? It's because, like I said, it doesn't matter what nationality, what ethnicity you are, that we all breathe in and out. And it all starts with the breath, right? When the baby was first born, it's slapped by the doctor, it takes its first breath. So it's born by its first breath. But at the same time, this breath that we have is very consistent over time, right? And over time, until we're lying on our deathbed, it ends with the breath. That's why the Buddha taught that when we breathe in but not breathe out, you pass away. But at the same time, when you breathe out but not breathe in, you pass away. So it all starts and ends with the breath. So it's very important that we understand how important this breath is and how we can use it as an anchor for always to control our mind, to bring our mind to the present moment at this exact moment where we have full control over our future and has full control over the present moment, right? And so your question was, how can anyone that lives in the Western society practice the Dharma?
Yeah.
And how they can experience it. And that's why I said it all starts and ends with the breath. Meditation is a method that anyone can use, right? And it's a concept that doesn't matter if you're Catholic, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, right? Some Native American religion, that you can practice meditation with the teachings that you're most comfortable with.
Yeah. Right? And so my next question is what's kind of the guide, or what's the first kind of teachings? I know you talked about the Four Noble Truths earlier. So into the last part, what do you think is essential? Because I heard before in our chanting that we practice diligence and morality, and the last one, do you remember, it was diligence, morality, and discipline. Yeah. And so of those three things, how do those things fit into lives of people that aren't monastics? I mean, is it good for any Westerner to constrain themselves and discipline themselves or walk with that? Because we seem to have so much freedom. What's the benefit in limiting things at all to gain any benefit?
Yes. So the question was morality, discipline, and...
Morality, discipline, and the last one was diligence.
Diligence. Okay, so your question was, how can anyone who's not a monastic living in this society can practice these three things? Anyone can. Because the first step that anyone wants to, on a path towards enlightenment or the path of the Dharma, the very first step someone must practice is the morality, right? Having the 5 precepts as their backbone. Right? The 5 precepts here is one should not kill, one should not steal, one should not perform sexual misconduct, one should not use false speech, and one should not use intoxicants to always cloud the mind. And so these 5 precepts will become the backbone of anyone that practicing the Dharma. When it comes to discipline, is learning how to take control of your mindset, learning how to control your speech, learning how to control your action. And so that is developing discipline. Anyone that wants to lose weight or eat right will have to practice discipline, right? You're learning how to control what you intake into your body, learning how to exercise more frequently so then you can burn more calories. And over time, you can see the results 2 to 3 weeks from now. If you were to do it consistently, then you'll see the result. The word consistent here goes with the word diligence. See, the word diligence here is another term for the word right effort, how the Buddha taught in the Eightfold Path. Right? And right effort here is, it splits up into 4 different parts. Basically, the first part is any negative action that you have right now, stop that negative action. Right? The second step is make sure you do not start that negative habit again. The third one is to start a positive action. And the fourth step is to, once you already start the positive action, then you continue performing that positive action. And so you can see how right effort in 4 different parts plays very powerfully in diligence. That you're making sure that you don't have any negative action that you're doing, but at the same time, you're making sure to not start that negative action. But in the meantime, you're performing something that's more positive, and you're frequent about the positive action, which results into what? If you were to have an action repeated over time, it develops into what?
Oh, a habit.
A habit. And it takes 21 to 30 days to develop a negative habit into a positive habit. So, morality, you have the backbone of something, thinking positive, saying something positive, and acting something positive, right? You have the discipline to always continue on with the positive. And you develop the diligence to continue it. So what happens over time?
Those things eventually combine together will overall make you a better person, depending on what goals you have at all. So it's not restricting, but restricting what you're able to do, restricting, because no one honestly likes gossiping, but maybe some, but as you restrict talking about it, maybe some bad will also lessly likely to be heard about you. And so as we extinguish anything that's negative about us and we try to do anything that's good about us, I mean, that's basically a universal technique in existence. And so as we practice, as we were saying, the effort and the diligence, what are the kind of techniques for us to have more effort into our lives and to wanting to fully commit to Dharma or fully act in a way that's in a morality sense? Like, what's kind of a way for you to push yourself harder into effort, right effort?
Yeah, of course. When it comes to matters of the Dharma, it's something that you cannot force someone. Right? It's basically one of those moments where, say for example, like you're let's talk about the weight again, right? There's a moment in time where you're gonna walk down the road, or you're gonna walk down the hallway, or getting out of bed and going to the restroom. You have shortness of breath.
Yeah.
Right. And at that moment in time is when you realize, man, I'm out of shape.
Yeah.
Right. And only then, when you have that, you will make the commitment to start to change. Right. And it's only that moment when you start to realize it yourself that, okay, I have to do this. But when it's someone else that's telling you to do it, you're most likely not going to do it. It's only when you start to realize it yourself that you do it. The Dharma works the same way. I mean, I can share with everyone that's watching the laws of cause and effect, the laws of cause and condition, the laws of impermanence, the laws of no self, the 6 paramitas, the Eightfold Path, 4 Noble Truth, the 12 links of determined origination. I can share all that with everyone. But it's a matter of when you're listening to what we're saying, and then you realize in that moment in time right now that you feel like your life is not where you want to be. that you're depressed and you feel like you cannot change your life, that you're stuck in some position that you know that you cannot change, but you want to change. And if you're hearing all this, that you're in a position that you want to change, in a position that you feel like it's worth, you're stuck but you cannot do anything about it, and you're looking for an answer, then only then where someone will be receptive to the Dharma. Right? And only then, when they start to listen to the Dharma, then they can perceive it differently on how they can use what we're saying right now to apply it in their life so that they can change. So our job here is to share with you the Dharma consistently until one day in your life when you realize, I don't want to be where I am. And I want to change my life to become happier, more stress-free, more abundant, live a life of wealth, live a life of greatness, but most importantly, live a life of happiness. When you start to realize that, then you'll start to practice the Dharma in order to change your life. But unfortunately, we don't have much time to continue further. Let's allow the commercial breaks to go. And then we'll continue after the commercial break. Thank you.
西疆吞併中咬墳，對khát màu những